Paid for by Save Juneau, P.O. Box 32142 Juneau, Alaska 99803 Molly Duval Chair. Top contributors Wayne Coogan, James Wilcox, and Robert Jacobson.
Hello, it is Alex here with Did You Know Juneau? And today we are interviewing Joann Wallace.
Hi.
Hello, welcome.
Hi, thank you.
Perfect. She is running for the area-wide assembly seat. So that's a tight run there.
Yes,
Woo!
there's 10 people running for 2 seats.
Okay. So tell us a little bit about you.
Okay, well, I'm a born and raised Alaska girl. I was born in Fairbanks. I've been in Juneau for 40 years. My dad transferred down here with Alascom right when I got out of high school. I ended up going to a trade school, which was the International Air Academy. Went to work for the airline. So I retired with Alaska Airlines for 33 years. And it still amazes me that most people still know me from the airlines, even though I've been a real estate agent for 17 years and I have pictures with signs, but people still remember those days at the airport where they were trying to get out and I was rebooking them. Anyway, so I raised 2 children here in Juneau, and I have always had an interest in politics more on a national level, but things just started changing a lot in the local community here, and I have kids and grandkids here, and it really just started making me want to get more involved. I don't like that Juneau's changing so much, and I really want to do what I can to make a change.
Awesome. High five, Fairbanks girl. Boom! All right. Speaking of making a change, actually, we're going to go into that right away. We all love living in Juneau, but it is expensive. Save Juneau, and kind of also why Did You Know Juneau, is very concerned about the cost of living. What is one idea the Assembly could implement to lower Juneau's cost of living?
Oh, I only get one.
You only get one.
Well, the thing that I have the most experience in is real estate. Until we increase our density in town, there's no way you're going to make things cheaper until there's just more availability of housing and rentals. So I'm all about opening up regulation and allowing people to build apartments, just, allowing people to build without having to jump through hoops. And people just get so frustrated trying to deal with that department at the city that they just give up. And I think if we lessen the regulations, that problem will take care of itself.
Oh, very good. Very good. At both state and city level, as well as private sector, there are tons of vacant and open positions in Juneau's workforce. Why can't Juneau attract more people to live and work here?
Unfortunately during COVID, it seems like people just got out of working in an office for 8 hours. People started working from home, and there's just a whole different mindset out there. And I think it's going to take a little bit to flip it around. But the best thing we can do is set a good example. I know some state workers have gone back to working in the office, but not all. And that might need to be, since we are the capital city, that might be a good place to start. Getting people back to work, working in offices. Once we change the mindset that's not a thing anymore, it will help. There's a lot of people that want to move here and take some of these great jobs because we have so many great jobs here. But housing is again a problem.
Yeah. That kind of went back into question one,
yeah,
right?
Definitely.
Housing's a thing.
Yes.
I understand that. I was a victim.
It's very hard. And
no victim mentality, but
yeah, it's very hard to find a place to live. And if you have a pet like that cute little fur baby over there, it's even more challenging.
Oh, yeah. So. Absolutely. Yeah, I see that a lot on Facebook.
Yes.
So many pet issues, right? Everyone says it. So we're going to go ahead and talk about your role as an assembly member and kind of your vision for that. How do you see the roles of the assembly member and city manager, which is hired by the assembly?
I think as an assembly member, you do have a role to play in representation. I mean, you're definitely not going to make everybody that you represent happy on every issue, but I do think it's very important to read the emails coming in, maybe get a consensus of how people are feeling on a topic. And that should weigh heavily on your decision. When I started going to the meetings, I just felt like all these people were getting up and talking and speaking. And I know I send emails and don't get responses. I felt like when I got up and spoke at the meetings, nobody cared what I was saying. It was like they already had their minds made up. Yeah. And as far as the city manager, we now have a new city manager. I don't know anything about them, but there wasn't a lot of transparency in the hiring process. And I would like to see a lot more transparency overall in city government on the assembly level and the manager level.
Yeah. Well, this might double up on kind of your answer, but let's dive in a little more, because I know you do have a lot of knowledge and history in speaking with the assembly as it is now, going to assemblies and meetings and sending out those emails. So how would your decisions be affected by public opinion, testimony, emails, versus using your knowledge and judgment that you've gained on the issues?
I think you have to balance it. I mean, I think you definitely have to listen to your constituents, but it could be an issue that has a very split base. Half people could think one and half could think the other, and that might be where you have to make a decision. But I still think that if you're talking to people and they know that your heart's in the right place, even though they might not agree with you on every issue, I still think you need to take people's opinions into consideration, and you need to at least come off, you need to at least make them feel like you're listening to them.
Yeah.
Yes,
Absolutely. All right. This is a big topic, and it is one of the only, I guess, bond issues on the ballot. Mm-hmm. So here it comes.
I'm ready.
All right. Do you support public servants promoting the city hall with public money?
Absolutely not.
Do you have alternative options to solve the ill-managed public buildings that we have today?
Well, I'm kind of confused. When I went into the City Hall building, I had never been on the second floor, and when I went to file for office, I was amazed at it. Was like stepping back in time, and I was kind of like, wow, have they never done a remodel on this building ever? So yeah. I was kind of, it seems like we're really failing on maintenance on all of our buildings. But almost every city you go to, the city hall is an old building downtown. I mean, in Fairbanks, it's like the old high school. I'm not on the one hand, just the idea of a new city hall in and of itself is not out of the question, but when the voters just voted it down, mm-hmm. It is out of the question. And then to turn around and give money to themselves during a time when a lot of people are still economically hurting and recovering from COVID, yeah. To say, hey, we're going to educate you on why you need it. It feels completely wrong to me. I also feel that we might be looking at some school consolidation down the road. There's going to be a lot of commercial buildings. Unless people go back to work, there's going to be a lot of commercial buildings opening up, and there's going to be other options. So this is just the wrong time, and it's the wrong message.
Yeah, for sure. I also, when I kind of read the pamphlet about these voting yes or no on giving a bond or debt to my city or my mm-hmm. community, right? What does it say? Oh, additional taxes that are going to be placed on me as an individual in this community. And I'm just going, that's why I had voted no, because I was like, oh my goodness, more money, more taxes that I'm going to have to put in to this. They're calling it the Taj Mahal.
Yeah. They don't like that term.
No, but it's coming into taxes. I mean, that's a big deal, right? Okay. So we got more taxes for, say, City Hall, but also some 400 homeowners appealed their property tax assessment this year. Talk to us a little bit about that, especially with your experience in real estate.
So the property tax issue is what's catapulting people on all sides to just want to change. The city assessments were just raised to me, and anywhere, I mean, I heard from anywhere from 13 to 40%. I mean, in my own case, it increased my payment $250 a month, and while I can absorb that, many young people could not. It's just unfair. We're a community that has income streams from that most cities in Alaska would just love to have, from tourism to mining to sales tax. I mean, we have so much money coming in. Why are we overtaxing our people? There's no reason for it. And I think the mill rate, it needs to be reduced. I mean, if the property taxes, if they're saying your house is worth this, okay, but the mill rate needs to be lower. There's no way we should be putting this kind of burden on the local citizens. We're a city that takes in plenty of income, so we definitely need to change something.
Yeah. So this is an interesting question. If you could make a promise to the voters that you swear not to break, what would your promise be to your community?
Well, I will not vote for a new city hall. I can promise that. And I guess just my big focus is going to be, what can we do to lower the cost of living as far as property taxes? I'm going to work really hard to come up with some ideas on that.
All right. Yeah, that's good. It really is. It is really kind of joining both sides of the field, I think, politically.
Yes,
it's
absolutely
wild.
is. Yeah.
But any final statements that you would like to make about your campaign or yourself?
Well, the biggest eye opener for me was in getting into this is the low voter turnout that we have in our city. And bottom line, you can have a great bunch of candidates, but unless we get people out to vote, we can't win. So mail-in ballots go out mid-month, about 14th or 15th of September. And I would just encourage you to fill it out immediately and get it turned in. Check with your neighbors and your friends. But it is the only way we can make a change. We really need people to vote. So I would love to have your vote, and I'll work hard for you.
And I will also mention that, yes, there is mail-in balloting, but also there is in-person balloting facilities that are available where you can turn in your ballot to those in-person facilities. So make sure to look up the areas for your district where you can actually turn in your ballot as well in this interesting mail-in ballot environment. So we hope that you have learned a lot from Joann and a lot about her. And we hope you guys are out there voting and informing yourself as a voter. And we will see you soon again. Thanks so much.